Eda-koppo and related weapons. I got a question from someone, and rather than just answer them, I thought I'd put together this video, maybe answer the questions of some other people. Now, some definitions. In English, often a short stick that barely comes out from both sides of the fist is called a yawata. In Japanese, there's a lot of terms, a lot of them. Small variations sometimes in them. I like kenka kiseru, which is a fighting pipe. Used to have one till I lost it. Function pipe. But this, when you're talking about Eda-koppo, okay, Eda-koppo is basically like a yawata with a loop, so you can put one or more fingers through. Okay, so now I want to deal with start with like a semi strawman argument. There's an argument basically saying that yawata and short sticks are useless because the people that buy them don't get training, so they're of no use. Well, it is true, if you don't get training, the yawata is of no use. And I have to admit that 99% of people that buy those stupid yawata keychains do not get any training in them. What they do is they buy these things and they say, oh, I've got a weapon now. This will take care of me. It's called talisman thinking. It's just, like carrying a cross against vampires. Immediately, it'll stop it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to train for it. And yeah, if you buy a yawata keychain and you think that will do it, that's going to give you a sense of self-confidence maybe and get you into trouble that you might have avoided. So I can understand saying, if you get something, you have to have training. That's obvious. Now, for people that do have training in martial arts, consider a yawata as a force multiplier. It multiplies whatever force you have. If you are, say, level 1, well, it's 1 times yawata. Level 2, 2 times yawata. And as we know from math class, if you multiply anything by 0, it's 0. So no training means that leave this at home and just concentrating and running like hell. Not a bad strategy for self-defense anyways. But if you know how to hit and hammer fist or shuto, instead of shuto, it's closed fist, it just takes a little bit, it's boshiken. It's a lot harder when you've got a metal side. Now, there are disadvantages to something like the yawata, aside from the obvious ones of the limitations. I mean, there's no range to it. You can't hit somebody outside of your arm reach, and you can't really intimidate anyone with it. A little old lady with a Bowie knife, well, maybe the punks will leave her alone. 6-foot stick in her hand, not a chance. But there's also another problem, like talisman thinking and stuff like that. But mainly, it's one of the big problems is that you have to have this in your hand when you're attacked. It's going to be very difficult to try to pull this out of your pocket and stuff like that as someone is trying to come at you with a knife or something like that. Now, if you want to use it, basically you put it in your hand before trouble starts. But that brings into the question of, if you think trouble is going to start, 1, why are you walking into it instead of walking away? And 2, why aren't you pulling out something better? Something that goes bang! Well, you have to admit, there's times when you can't really avoid things and the danger isn't all that much. Let's say a dark parking lot. Not a great chance of being attacked, but there is a chance. So maybe while walking across the parking lot, you have this in your hand until you get to your car. Speaking of that, you notice that this is not actually a ready-made weapon. This is a flashlight. I like carrying things like this better than ready-made weapons for a few things that I'll talk about later. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with carrying a flashlight in your hand as you walk across a parking lot to your car. Well, maybe in the middle of the day it might look weird, but you know what I'm saying. So there's that. Now, that's yawata. Now, again, Eda-koppo is basically a loop on something like a short stick to kind of give it an advantage. And really today, all you have to need to do is have a rubber band to make an improvised one. I get these whenever I buy asparagus or certain types of vegetables. All you gotta do is just wrap this around like this, boom, put your fingers through, boom, there you go. It takes a little bit more time to put on, but now you can open up your hands. You can work on something. You can grab someone, all that. This is a great advantage. And of course, if it is a tactical or a flashlight, then you quick shot to the eyes before you do something else like run or hit or whatever. So this is a kind of a modern version of an Eda-koppo right here. And it's got certain advantages. Like there are certain places where if you get caught with any type of weapon at all, under certain circumstances, you're in trouble. I'll just put this out here. Japan. If you're not Japanese and they catch you even with a Boy Scout knife, yeah, you're going to be pulled down and grilled at the station. But a flashlight and a rubber band, yeah, never gotten into trouble while I was living in Japan. You can kind of tape this here or glue it so that you don't have to be fumbling around. But really, put these things together. You can carry them almost anywhere through TSA, whatever. Courtrooms. They're not weapons, and really they aren't weapons. And that's a nice thing about them is that you tend to leave weapons at home when you don't expect trouble, and then when you get unexpectedly in trouble, oops. But a flashlight, when you're going to be driving at night, makes sense. A pen, could be a Sharpie. A Sharpie works pretty well, trust me. And you've got plenty more uses for a Sharpie than hitting someone. In fact, I dare say 99% of people that carry this will never hit someone with it, even among the people that I hang out with. So there's that. There is legal considerations. You should find out what the laws are in your area. But it's a lot easier to carry around a flashlight or a pen or something like that than a ready-made weapon. And if you've got the background, the training with unarmed arts, this can really multiply your ability to fight. Now here comes a question, okay? I was basically asked, what type of tactical pen do I like? And I'm going to answer that now. I don't like anything with the word tactical in it, really. If I can avoid it, I will. The reality is, if you defend yourself, you will have to explain yourself to the law. So always think about how things are going to look in front of a jury in case you have a circumstance where the law is coming after you. If you want to see a good movie, go watch Bonfire of the Vanities with Tom Hanks. A lot of reality to that. Certain areas, they will go after you no matter what. Other areas, they're a lot less lenient. But you have to consider that, you say that you were just walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to get back, trying to get a Subway sandwich, and somebody attacked you and you had to defend yourself using a knife. And okay, but the DA basically shows the jury that, the tactical Widowmaker combat knife. And he's going to say, this guy was carrying this and he says he wasn't looking for trouble. Don't make it easy for them. I live in Colorado. Up in Denver, there's a famous case among, Masad Ayub, who you should read, about a guy that he was a disabled Korean War vet who basically had to confront 2 punks. And he pulled out his pistol and he made them basically run away without firing a shot. And Denver went after him, saying that he was he caused the trouble, he was looking for trouble. And the proof that they tried to push us under was that he carried a spare magazine for his pistol. That's it. Don't make it easy for them to come after you by carrying anything that says tactical, when something just as good is available. And especially, like a flashlight. Again, a flashlight is so useful at times. You don't need to have to, ever use it as a weapon to really enjoy it. I mean, if you drop your keys into low brush, trust me, you'll thank me if you're carrying a flashlight, because I advise you to. So there's that. Stay safe. Think about this. Get good instruction and find out what the law is and the legal atmosphere in your areas before you ever consider carrying something like this. Thank you and stay safe.